So it's real interesting that men's depression is skyrocketing through the roof, and guys committing suicide and all this stuff. And at the same exact time, we live in the Western culture, at least, like the most irreligious society ever. Freedom is everywhere you can get. Things are so easy. You can get food. I mean, everybody has a house. I mean, even homeless people get issued phones. I mean, you can get a phone. Like, how comfortable is everything? Like, our poor people have food. Like, that's insane. Like, we live in an insane time of incredible abundance. Like, you turn on the lights work. You could heat your house. You could shut your heat off. You could air condition it. There's so much comfort. Shower's always warm. Your bed's always comfortable. You can get your Amazon orders quickly delivered to your house. It's an amazing time. But yet, there's a lot of people, and especially guys, that are super unhappy. And do you know why guys are unhappy? Like, take a wild guess. It's because they're too comfortable. Now, when you read old books and old history, the Romans, the books of the Bible, you're reading about wars and battle and sieges taking place upon cities. And during those sieges, people were hungry. They were so hungry. I just read in the book of Kings today. The siege was so bad that some woman ate a baby. It's disgusting. It's actually disgusting. But it gives you a level of life is hard. This is a very easy time. So what everyone needs to do, especially guys, if you want to actually be happy, if you want and you're yearning to be, I wouldn't even say happy. Um, if you want to be productive, let's use different words. Happy is a silly. Such a modern, stupid term. If you want to feel at ease, you need to invite suffering into your life. Like, take on willful suffering. So when it's easy to do something, or it's easy to order something you want right at the second you want, don't do it. Don't do it. It's easy to get that sandwich. Don't eat that sandwich. Fast through it. Start doing hard things, and put yourself out there. And start kind of like, it's almost like making your interior life miserable. Now think about that guy David Goggins, and I like David Goggins a lot, and I like him because he confirmed a lot of things that I thought about myself, um, and how I kind of regulated myself and put it into words, about him kind of going through like the suffering and the pain. Because in that suffering and that pain that you willfully do, you can build excellence. Now, our time is like, it's an unfathomable, great time. It's an amazing time because right now, you could build extra virtue. Like the people before us, they would just go through a siege, go through wars, go through bad crop years, and they'd starve. They weren't like intentionally fasting. They were they weren't eating because there was no food, because things were bad. If it didn't rain, or the crops failed, or the crops got eaten by bugs, or an army came and sowed their fields with salt, that happened. That's what they did. Or some army came and took your whole city and devastated it to the ground, or they killed all the men in the city and took the women, and a couple of refugees made it up to the mountains. You were suffering, like you were suffering beyond suffering. But right now in this time, you don't have to suffer at all. In the West, there's none of that suffering because it's too comfortable. Everything is too comfortable. Everything's at the fingertip. The heat works, the lights turn on, your washing machine works, your car gets to where you're going. You have heat in the car, air conditioning. It's amazing. It's literally an amazing time that we live in. And the United States and the West, these are amazing countries that, the municipal structures and the structures of government, no matter how corrupt you think they are, they function. They function all the way. Your garbage gets picked up. There's not rats in the streets or rats in your house biting your toes and giving you a plague that takes out your whole family while you sleep. So what you can do now is, because things are so easy, is to willful suffer. So that means giving up all those things that you would normally do and start doing a whole bunch of things that you don't want to do. Not tomorrow, not like next year, not I'm going to start whatever. You pick some arbitrary stupid date on the calendar. You start suffering right now. Maybe you do it in practical ways with maybe it's something as simple as dropping some meals or not taking second helpings on your plate. Just giving up small little things and you don't tell anybody you're doing it. Or there's a million times I don't want to go to the gym. I go to the gym anyway. Go to the gym not to like body worship myself like a bunch of weirdos. I go to the gym to remain strong. So if I had to, I can get my family out of sticky situations. That's why I do it, so I can protect my family. So I'm dangerous if I'm viewed by anybody on the street as somebody that I wouldn't want to mess with this guy and his family because he may hurt me. And you want to have that strength that if something came about that you look slightly dangerous and you have an aggression about you, and that means you have to train your mind. So that kind of loops back into the Goggins stuff, that training your mind, taking on willful suffering right now while it's easy. And you're going to build more virtue. The people before us had to fast. They had to do all these things because life was hard, famines happened, armies came and conquered, cities got leveled. I mean, tons of things went wrong. Children were dying during childbirth, like, families would have 11 children, but in reality, there'd really be much more than that didn't make it, and a couple kids died. That's suffering. That's real suffering. Today, that doesn't happen. You have your kids, if something goes wrong, they go to the doctor, they're fine. Back then, like if somebody got, your kids maybe got like pneumonia or something went seriously wrong and they got very sick during the winter months, they would die. They would die. There was no medicine for them to take. You would be burying that child in the middle of winter. Imagine that. Now you can take on some willful suffering. And your virtue from taking on suffering in a very willful, deliberate manner, quietly, internally, is going to make you hard. It's going to harden you inside. Then let's talk about this. So with that willful suffering, first, don't tell anyone. And second, when you do take on that willful suffering and you're not telling anybody, you gotta like embrace it so it doesn't make you bitter. Because if it makes you bitter, you just become a miserable, sick person. And that's no good for anybody because it's going to come outward to everybody else and it's going to spoil your wife and your kids and everyone around you. There's going to be like, this guy does crazy stuff and doesn't, pick up his cross joyfully. Like suffer, like take on that burden as hard as it is and willful as you are doing it, like take it on with joy, or at least like some internal kind of gladness that you are getting strengthened by it. So back to now we make the full circle back to depression. Is if men start doing that and they start willfully suffering, men are too comfortable. We're literally actually built for suffering. We're built hard. You are built very strong and very hard. And when you're very soft in every single way possible in your mind and your body and your habits and your vices, it makes you depressed because that's not what you're meant for. You're meant for grinding it out all the time. And that will make you the quote unquote happy, whatever you want to call it. It's a silly word for that. But that will make you happy. So the willful, quiet suffering will bring you peace. Isn't that weird how that works? And you will be free. And that's even weirder how that process works. And on top of it, listen to this. You can start the next step, which is detachment. And it'll give you a good groundwork for starting to work through detachment from earthly things. So that's it for now. Subscribe if you like any of this stuff. Share it. I think YouTube did me a favor because I used language they did not like in some of my previous videos. And since AI reads all these videos now, it picks out, I guess, damaging language. So if you use words about destroying young innocent children, or being a weak man, the special word for weak man, or leading your family appropriately, that word, they bottom out your videos. And I saw that actually happen the second I did that. So subscribe and share, because I've been throttled. So that's it for now.